Yo, what's up, guys? We're back. This week it's for the Dana White Contender Series Week 2 for Season 3. And we did pretty good on the first week. You know, we hit the Parlay of the Week that I gave out, and we hit the Parlay of the Week on the Korean Zombie card last week as well. Had some pretty good picks, so I'm not going to be doing a breakdown of that card for right now. I'll try to do one tomorrow, but for right now, we're just going to get right into the Dana White Contender Series. And for the first fight, it's Miles Johns, who's training out of 4 to 7 May, so they've been doing very well in the Contender Series. And he's taking on Richie Santiago. And Miles Johns, he's undefeated. He's 8-0. He's a former state champion wrestler in high school. And he's a good athlete. He's very fast. He's explosive. He's powerful. And he has a good jab left hook. He has good inside-outside leg kicks. He'll throw a jab, overhand right. And he's also always coming forward. He's, better at being lighter on his feet in and out than Richie Santiago, but he is putting the pressure on guys. He will go body head with combinations when he backs people up, and he's definitely good at throwing extended combinations when he gets opponents near the cage. He doesn't look to have big power in his punches, though, but I think he might hit harder than Santiago. It's kind of hard to say, but he has one career TKO. He's undefeated at 7-0. And he's an explosive wrestler. He has big, explosive double leg slams. On top, he's able to overwhelm some low-level fighters with ground and pound, but he isn't great. And in this fight, I would try to keep it standing if I was Johns. Johns has strong takedown defense. He has good balance. He'll make opponents pay with punches, elbows to counter takedowns. He got a pretty nasty guillotine on an opponent who shot in on him in a recent fight. And I've seen him defend rear naked chokes pretty well against Kyle Machado. I hope we won't have to, see that in this fight, but Richie Santiago's a good rear naked choke guy, so it's good to see that he can do that. And he is coming off a 5-round championship fight win in LFA, which is great experience there. And, he's going to be taking on Richie Santiago, who's also a wrestler. And Santiago doesn't look very big for the division. I would say he's definitely more of a 125er. His striking is just not good. He will put pressure on opponents, but he's slow, he's plodding, he chases opponents instead of cutting the cage off. He'll throw a lot of left hooks. He'll throw a left hook straight right hand combination. He will try to, throw a double jab to get inside, but he just isn't very athletic. He's slow, he's stiff, and, he just doesn't have good distance striking. He has sloppy kicks. He doesn't close the distance well, and he will try to crash with punches, but doesn't move his head. He can get tagged coming in. Overextends on punches. He can lunge in without bringing his feet with him. And, I've seen him drop by a regional scene fighter who was 4-3 in 2017. I will say he's super tough, and when he's hurt, he's willing to stay in the pocket, throw down. He has no TKOs. He's never been finished by strikes. And Santiago is an opportunistic grappler. Although he is a wrestler, I don't think his wrestling is very good. He lacks the physicality to drive through and finish. He does have decent timing on his double legs. He will look for body locks against the cage. But, he's excellent at taking the back. He has 6 rear naked chokes and 7 wins. And his only loss was via Darce choke in 2018 against a 3-2 fighter. But Santiago has not really fought anyone good yet. Johns definitely has fought better competition. And this is going to be the toughest fight for Richie in his career. He is the much lesser athlete. He doesn't have the wrestling, in my opinion, to get it to the ground. And he's going to have to deal with the pressure. And, he's going to have to try to, pressure forward, take the power, get in on John's legs against the cage, try to find a takedown. He has to be dogged here. This is, in my opinion, an easy fight for Johns. He's bigger. Richie's up a weight class. Johns is stronger, faster, more explosive. He's just better, man. I think he's going to get a finish here. I think that he's going to use his striking to walk down Santiago, stay at his range, be quick, be in and out. I think he's going to ping Santiago up, make him start to panic wrestle. And I think he's going to stop a couple takedowns, land some shots off the break, and catch a front choke as a wobbled Ricky shoots her a takedown in round 1 or 2. So I'm going with Miles Johns to get a submission victory in this fight. Then up next here we have one of the closer fights on the card with Michael Lombardo taking on Kyle Daukaus. And, Michael Lombardo, he comes in here the older guy. He trains out of ATT, so he's getting great looks, coaching, and he has a good record. He's 8-1. And for Kyle Daukaus, he's undefeated. He's 26 years old. He's fighting out of Philadelphia. And he's 6-0. He's coming into this on a high. He just defeated UFC veteran Jonathan Webb in his last fight. And Michael Lombardo, while having more fights, he's really fought nobody. Doesn't look good to me. He has limited striking. He doesn't really throw many strikes at all. He's almost exclusively looking for the takedown. He will throw some hand combinations, some high kicks, but purely looking to just kind of distract his opponent, find him, a time to duck under, get in on a body lock, get the takedown. And he's good at circling away from opponent's power, waiting for them to overextend so he can get, good positions to get it to the mat. And he's good at getting double underhooks, circling to the back from standing position. He'll also shoot decent single and double leg shots, and he does leave his head in position to be guillotined, which he has to be careful of in this fight. Lombardo does have 3 KO TKOs. He's never been finished, and he has 1 submission. And this fight is going to be, Dawkins coming forward, Lombardo circling, looking for the takedown. And if Lombardo can get on top, I think he will be able to control and improve his position. Lombardo's more about control than submission, but I could see him getting a submission in this fight potentially. Kyle, he's a decent fighter. He's big for the division. He has a long reach, and he likes to put pressure on opponents, try to make the cage small. He'll use feints. He'll use his jab to push opponents back. He'll throw a 1-2, a jab, right hook. And he has a pretty good counter straight right hand. He will throw a double jab to a head kick. He likes to attack the body with hooks, then go up to the head. And he has pretty good hand speed, good body kicks. I would say he hits harder. He's more dangerous than Lombardo on the feet, but it's nothing special. He does keep a high volume, and he has great cardio, but I wouldn't say he's an elite level striker. And, he looks to be a decent jiu-jitsu player off his back. He'll throw up triangles, arm bars. He'll roll for leg locks, but doesn't stick the submissions well. He'll have the triangle locked in, but he leaves too much space to finish. His takedown defense is not good. Doesn't have good clinch technique. He allows opponents to get in on double underhooks very easily, and he'll attack with front chokes to try to counter takedown attempts, which he needs to do in this fight because Lombardo's very susceptible to that. And Dawkins was able to get a nasty Darce choke in his last fight that put Jonathan Webb to sleep, and he will look to shoot takedowns against the cage, such as body locks, singles as well. And he's good at sprawling in the top position, and he has good elbows. He likes to work from inside opponent's guards, land straight punches, elbows. He will pressure pass and move to more dominant positions when his opponent starts to wilt a little bit, get a little bit tired. And that's when he's going to look to, take the back, move to mount, close the show. He has 3 rear naked chokes, 3 Darces in his MMA career. And with Michael Lombardo, I wouldn't look to grapple too much and just try to keep it on the feet. I think Lombardo's BJJ is solid and better than Dawkins', but I'm going to pick Kyle Dawkins, but I'm not very confident. I think Dawkins' takedown defense is just very questionable, and if Lombardo comes in here with a good game plan, gets takedowns, stays safe on top, he could win that way. I don't think Lombardo will get a contract fighting that way, so it could change his game plan. I think on the feet, Dawkins is better. He throws more volume. He has, more bad intentions, and I think he definitely is going to be going forward, forcing Lombardo to strike moving backward, and if he can back Lombardo up, make the cage small, he could time a shot off a takedown attempt, try to get the knockout. I could also see him, possibly catching a front choke submission. And I'm going to say Dawkins via second round KO TKO in this fight. And up next here we have Zach Zane taking on Justin Gonzalez. And 2 featherweights, they're set to do battle here. And Zach Zane, he's been competing in different promotions, but he's had several fights in the infamous Alaskan Fighting Championships. And Justin Gonzalez, he's 9-0. He's 8-0 as an amateur, 9-0 as a pro, so he's 17-0 overall. And he's a brawler. Zane, he's a brawler. He's, well-rounded, I guess, but I would say he's more not well-rounded. He's just not that good at anything. He's aggressive. He's dangerous with kicks. He really is just wild. He leaves himself very hittable. He will try to grapple, gets fights to the ground, but his wrestling isn't good, and his takedown defense is terrible. He'll jump on guillotines, and he's active off his back with submissions. He'll attack with toe holds, with triangles. And if he can get top position, he has good rear naked chokes. And all of Zane's wins are by finish. 9 submissions, 3 knockouts. And he's lost 2 decisions. He's been submitted 4 times. And he's never been finished by strikes. He's just lost once by TKO due to injury. And Gonzalez, he's much smoother. He's more technical. He's a good boxer. He throws tighter punches, better combinations. He has good defense. He's good at attacking the body to disguise level changes. He doesn't throw many kicks, and he's very good at getting over-under or double-under in the clinch, getting takedowns, working from there. And he has good clinch control against the cage. He'll make shots in, short punches, elbows, strong body locks. And when he gets top position, he has nasty ground and pound. He's good in the scrambles. He's hard to take and hold down. And he will usually win the scramble in the top position if there's a wrestling transition. And this fight really shouldn't be close. Gonzalez is better everywhere. And you should get a first-round takedown and finish the fight. You could finish by ground and pound or submission. If you take Zane's back, Zane has four rear naked choke losses. And Gonzalez has gone 5 rounds. He's shown good cardio. And I just don't see how he'll lose here other than laying a complete egg or getting hit with a big shot. If he gets on top of Zane, he's going to beat him up. So I'm going to go with Gonzalez via first-round submission or TKO. He's better on the feet, but the ground is the easiest path to victory. So just take him down, pound him out, and get that easy win. So I'm going with Justin Gonzalez to get the victory here. And up next here we have Alton, the Bowman Cunningham against Tony Johnson. And I see that on Tapology that 98% of people think Alton Cunningham is going to 98%. You guys are fucking smoking something, bro. 98%? No way. This fight, to me, is way closer than that. But Tony Johnson, he's an experienced fighter. He became a pro in 2007. He had 7 fights. He fought in Strikeforce. He fought Clifford Starks. He fought some decent guys. Then he transitioned to boxing. He went 10-1 as a boxer. And since returning to MMA in 2017, he's 2-0. And he's 36 years old, so he probably needs a extremely impressive performance to get a chance at a contract here. But at 205 pounds, being 36 isn't that old, The champion of 205 is 40. So, I mean, obviously, you can have a little bit of longer life in that division. And he's going to be taking on the Dana White Contender Series veteran Alton Cunningham. Cunningham is going to be looking for redemption. He got knocked out in the first round by Bevon Lewis. Didn't really show anything in that fight. He got outclassed. And he has bounced back with 2 victories since then. And he's getting another opportunity on the show. I'm just not very impressed with Alton Cunningham, man. He's an explosive athlete. He has good power. He's dangerous in certain positions like the clinch where he'll throw devastating knees and good elbows. But, he's quick. He has a good straight right hand. He has round kicks to the legs, to the body that are fast. But I don't like Cunningham's striking defense, man. He'll try to switch stances, but he's choppy with his movements. He doesn't have quick feet. He holds his hands low. He brings them back too slow after he punches. He will try to, land a couple punches, then fall into the clinch. But a seasoned striker should be able to see that come and make him pay for it. And Cunningham will look for takedowns through the clinch. He's dangerous in top position, heavy ground and pound. And his defense, in the clinch isn't great, though. He leaves too much space. He leaves himself open for those knees up the middle, the elbows. And his takedown defense is just bad. He can't get taken down easily. He's very raw, and you could see it in the wrestling scrambles where he doesn't know what to do. He just gets static. He allows his opponents to win the position. And he's a big, imposing guy with knockout power, so you can't overlook him, but he isn't the best, man. He has 7 knockouts. Like I said, he was knocked out by Bevon Lewis. That's his only loss. And almost all of Cunningham's knockouts have come in the clinch or in top position. And Tony Johnson, to me, at range is going to pick Cunningham apart. I think the body kicks from Cunningham and the leg kicks could give Tony Johnson some issues. But other than that, I think the hands, Johnson's going to have a big advantage. But Johnson, he has a good jab, heavy low kicks, a very nice left hook straight right hand. He will even use like a left hand slap to a straight or overhand right where he's just trying to position your head for that overhand. And his right hand has big power, man. But, he isn't a great wrestler, but I think he has the wrestling to defend the takedowns of Cunningham and maybe the better jiu-jitsu. He likes to take the back, but his back control is sloppy. I wouldn't grapple with Cunningham here. He has nice knees, uppercuts in the clinch as well, and he has good defense in the clinch, better defense than Cunningham. You should probably just look to disengage off the clinches, though. You don't want to give Cunningham a big chance to get a knockout there. But Johnson looked pretty good in his 2 MMA fights since returning, His last fight, in my opinion, it should have been stopped multiple times. The ref let his opponent take a disgusting beating, in my opinion. And Johnson was gassing round 3, but he let off so much offense. He almost finished so many times that I'm not too worried about his cardio. But Johnson does get flat-footed when he's rocked. He tries to kind of just stand and trade and catch opponents as they try to finish him. And he has 5 KO TKO, so he definitely has power, but that's a dangerous proposition where you could potentially get knocked out yourself doing that. I think if Tony Johnson goes in there technical, he has a sound game plan, sticking and moving, angling and countering, I think the knockout will come organically, and I think he has a high chance to win. But if he lets the atmosphere of the Dana White Contender Series get to him, he brawls, then it becomes much closer to 50-50. But Johnson has fought in Strikeforce. He trains at AKA. He's 36 years old. I think he's going to be, ready for the moment and know it's his final opportunity. And I'm going to be one of those 2%. I'm going to say Tony Johnson wins via knockout in round 1 or round 2. So I'm going with Tony Johnson here to get it done. And then up next here we have, this is like one of the biggest mismatches on paper on the Dana White Contender Series that I've seen, man. In this fight, we have a 5'5" welterweight in Victor Reyna going up against a 6'2" welterweight in Miguel Baeza. And it was hard to find much tape on Baeza, but he's a jiu-jitsu black belt. He has a good double leg against the cage. He's a back taker. He's aggressive, looking for rear naked chokes. Good top control. On the feet, he looks to, be a fast counter puncher with some decent kicks, has power. He does stand tall. He has his chin high, but he has good head movement. He rolls with shots. He can counter moving backwards with straight and hook punches. He's shown big power over his career. Very quick hands. He can look a little vulnerable leaning back to defend punches. He can back up with his chin high, but he has 5 knockouts in his 6 wins. And he's a coach also. And he's only been competing 1 time a year, so this is kind of his opportunity to see if he's going to make a career out of MMA. And Victor Reyna, he's 10-3 out of Texas. He was knocked out in his last fight versus Hayward Charles in 21 seconds. He was caught with the left hook. Took like 4 or 5 punches unanswered to the head. And, to me, I thought it was a very clear stoppage victory for Hayward Charles. I mean, you could maybe say it was a little bit early, but nothing crazy. And they changed that fight to a no contest on his record, which don't know how that happened. But, he was knocked out, in my opinion. And maybe not knocked out, but that was a TKO. And Reyna, he does not look good at all to me. He walks forward with his hands down, chin high, plodding movement. And he's going to have to, come through that 6'2" to 5'5" reach advantage. He is aggressive, though, and he will throw, straight punches, hooks in combination. But he's super hittable, and he's chinny. He also, he gets, stung in a lot of his fights where he gets rocked. Like I said, he was knocked out in 21 seconds. I didn't say that. Yeah, it was 21 seconds against Hayward Charles. And, he's just super hittable, super chinny. He also likes to grapple a lot, and I think that Baeza is the much better grappler and wrestler. And, Reyna, he's going to be the smaller guy who's slower, super hittable, trying to close that gap in the reach versus a faster fighter who hits hard. And the UFC wants Baeza to get a highlight reel KO here, get a contract, is what I see. I mean, Reyna's going to go for it. He's going to come forward, be a punching bag, and if he lands, I mean, he has a puncher's chance, but I see Baeza as the clearly superior fighter, and Baeza should get a first-round knockout here. Even with limited footage of Baeza, I'm confident he can get the finish. And I'm going to go with Miguel Baeza here to get it done via KO TKO in the first round. And, last week I gave you guys a parlay of the week with 3 people with Alton, Meeks, and when the lines came out, because I'm doing these videos before the lines come out, Meeks was like minus 900, so I went and took him out because obviously I wouldn't bet him at that line. So I'm going to give you guys a parlay of the week here with some names, maybe 3 names, just because if the odds are very, very, high on all the fights, I want to give you guys at least a decent parlay. So, come back and check in the description, though, or I'll even put a comment on the video if I, take one guy off of my parlay of the week, or whatever happens, if I change it once I see the odds, because I'm doing this kind of blind here. But, if that 98% is any representation of what the line is going to be like, I think Tony Johnson, if he's like a big underdog, he's definitely worth a play. But, For the parlay of the week, I guess I would say to do Miguel Baeza, Justin Gonzalez, and Miles Johns is the parlay of the week with those three guys. I think those are three pretty safe fights that people have very clear paths to victory, and they should get it done there. So that's going to be the preliminary parlay of the week. Like I said, make sure to come and check to see if I change something once I see the odds. But that's what it's going to be for now. And hopefully we can hit it again. I'm excited to watch. Last week was a pretty good week for the first week. So, yeah, make sure to comment, like, subscribe on the video. Send a donation to PayPal if you're feeling generous today, since I've hit back-to-back parlays for you guys. And, yeah, let's keep it rolling. Let's win another one, and let's have a good time watching these fights. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow when I'm breaking down Ngannou versus JDS.